Hello students, in this session I will discuss about coordinate geometry. So let us start this topic. Coordinate geometry was first introduced by René Descartes. In this geometry we represent a point in a plane in two dimensions by drawing two perpendicular lines passing through a point intersecting at a point O, x dash and y dash. By drawing these two perpendicular lines, the plane is divided in four parts. First, this 0 to 90 degree, this is first quadrant. "90 degree to 180 degree, this is second quadrant. "180 degree to 270 degrees, third quadrant. And 270 to 360 degrees, fourth quadrant. In the right hand side x coordinate is positive and in left hand side x coordinate is negative. In this direction x coordinate is positive, in the left hand side direction x coordinate is negative. In the upward direction y coordinate is positive, in the downward direction y coordinate is taken as negative. So in the first quadrant if we take a point, then we are moving in the positive x direction and then in the positive y direction. So both the coordinates are positive here, plus plus. In the second quadrant we move in the negative x-axis direction and positive y-axis direction. So x coordinate is negative, y coordinate is positive. And in the third quadrant if we take a point here, then we move in the negative x-axis direction and then in the negative y-axis direction. So x and y both coordinates are negative. And in the fourth quadrant, if we take a point in the fourth quadrant, then to reach this point we move in the positive x direction and then negative y direction. So x coordinate is positive, y coordinate is negative. This rule of taking sign plus and minus is known as sign convention. So in the first quadrant both are positive, x and y. In the second quadrant x is negative because we move in the left hand side and in the upward direction, and y is positive. In the third quadrant x is negative and y is also negative. And in the fourth quadrant x is positive and y is negative. And the point O is known as the origin and its coordinates are 0 0. And if we take any point on x-axis, any point on x-axis has the coordinates x comma 0, because y coordinate is, if we take a point on x-axis y coordinate is 0. Any point on y-axis, x coordinate is 0 and y coordinate has some value. So this was all about sign convention. Let's move to the next topic, distance formula. Distance between two points. So if two points have the coordinates x1, y1 and x2, y2, Point A has the coordinates x1, y1, B has the coordinates x2, y2, and we want to find the distance between them, distance between A and B. So distance AB is equal to under root of x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square. If a point P has the x coordinate, P has the coordinates x, y, then the distance between the origin and the point P, OP, is equal to under root of x minus 0 square plus y minus 0 square, because the origin has the coordinates 0, 0, is equal to under root of x square plus y square. So by using this formula we can find the distance between two points. So let us discuss some important points. First, x coordinate has a special name. X coordinate is also known as abscissa, and y coordinate has a special name. Y coordinate is also known as ordinate. Third point, if coordinates of 3 points are given and you want to show that those 3 points are in a straight line, collinear. Collinear means straight line. Suppose 3 points are given. A has a coordinate x1, y1, B has the coordinates x2, y2, and C has the coordinates x3, y3. Now in this case you will find the three distances AB, BC and AC. After finding the distances, you will see which is the longest distance, which has a maximum value, and then if the maximum distance can be expressed, suppose AC is maximum, then maximum distance can be expressed as the sum of the other two, then the 3 points are said to be collinear. So for collinearity you need to find the three distances and find the largest distance. If it can be expressed as the sum of the other two distances, then the 3 points are said to be collinear. Now fourth point, if the vertices of a triangle are given, A has a vertex x1, y1, B has the vertex x2, y2, and C has a vertex x3, y3. This triangle will be isosceles triangle if you show that any two sides are equal. If any two sides are equal, sides of triangle are equal. If all the sides of the triangle are equal, AB equal to BC is equal to AC, all sides are equal, then the triangle is equilateral. If all sides of triangle are equal, then the triangle is equilateral. If the square of one of the longest side, suppose the side AC is the longest side, square of the longest side is equal to sum of the squares of the other two sides. Any side can be longest. If the square of the longest side is equal to sum of the squares of the other two sides, then the angle opposite to the longest side is a right angle. Angle B is equal to 90 degree by converse of Pythagoras theorem. Fourth point, if all the sides are different, AB, BC, AC are all different, means having different lengths, different, means the triangle is scalene triangle. So by observing these points, we can tell the nature of the triangle, nature of triangle. So this was all about triangle and collinearity. In the next topic, if we want to check the type of quadrilateral, suppose you are given the coordinates of 4 points A, x1, y1, x2, y2, x3, y3 and x4, y4. Now this quadrilateral is a square if all sides are equal. Then all sides are equal and diagonals are also equal. Then the given quadrilateral is a square. If all sides are equal, then it is a rhombus. If opposite sides are equal, then quadrilateral is a parallelogram. If opposite sides are equal, and diagonals are also equal, then the quadrilateral is a rectangle. Next topic, section formula. If we know the coordinates of 2 points x1, y, 2 points A and B, x1, y1 and x2, y2. If a point P lies between A and B, that is, the point P divides AB internally in the ratio m1 is to m2, that is, the ratio AP is to PB is equal to m1 ratio m2. And then we how to find the coordinates of point P, x, let the coordinates of point P be x, y, then x coordinate is equal to this ratio m1 into x coordinate of the other side m1 into x2 plus m2 into x1 divided by m1 plus m2. Y coordinate is equal to m1 y2 plus ratio of this side and y coordinate of the other point plus m2 y1 upon m1 plus m2. So this formula is known as the coordinates of an internal point which divides the line segment AB in the ratio m1 is to m2. Now if P is the midpoint, midpoint formula. If P is midpoint, P is the midpoint of AB, that is AP ratio PV is equal to 1:1, that is M1 is 1 and M2 is 1. In that case, coordinates of point P, which is the midpoint, x coordinate is equal to x1 plus x2 upon 2, putting M1 is equal to 1 and M2 is equal to 1. So 1 into x2 plus 1 into x1 upon 1 plus 1, that is x1 plus x2 upon 2, and y coordinate is equal to y1 plus y2 upon 2. So by just adding the x coordinates and dividing by 2 and just adding the y coordinates of the endpoints and dividing by 2, we can get the coordinates of the midpoint. And next topic in this series is centroid. First, you must know what is centroid. If you have a triangle A x1, y1, B has the coordinates x2, y2, and C has the coordinates x3, y3. It has three medians. Let the midpoint of BC be D. Then AD is the median, joining the vertex to the midpoint of the opposite side. BE is another median, and CF is the third median, and these median intersect at the point G. Point of concurrency of the three medians is known as centroid. It divides it in the ratio 2:1. And if we find the coordinates of midpoint of D and then finding the coordinates of point G, we can get the coordinates of G, and coordinates of G are x coordinate is x1 plus x2 plus x3 upon 3, and y coordinate is equal to y1 plus y2 plus y3 upon 3. So to get the coordinates of the centroid of the triangle, we just need to add the x coordinate of the three vertices and dividing by 3, and to get the y coordinate, we just need to add the y coordinates y1 plus y2 plus y3 divided by phi. Let us derive this formula. We can derive it very easily. Let us derive the formula. So A D is the midpoint of BC. So coordinate of D, x coordinate of D will be x1 x2 plus x3 upon 2, and y coordinate will be y2 plus y3 upon 2. D point has the x and y coordinates, and A point has the coordinates x1, y1, and D point has the coordinates x2 plus x3 upon 2, y2 plus y3 upon 2, because D is the midpoint of BC. Now G lies between A and D, and it divides it in the ratio 2:1. So now let us apply the section formula here. Let the coordinates of G point be x, y. Now x coordinate is equal to M1, that is 2 into x2 plus x3 upon 2, x coordinate of the other point, plus 1 into x coordinate of the other point A, that is 1 into x1 upon 2 plus 1. This 2 and 2 is cancelled, so we get x is equal to x2 plus x3 plus x1 upon 3, or we can rearrange the terms, and in the same way we can find the y coordinate is equal to y1 plus y2 plus y3 upon 3. So this ends the lecture on all the topics of coordinates. Like and subscribe my channel for new videos and press the bell icon.